like we were talking before, like
Mm.
you put up lots of statistical facts and stuffs in the Twitter,
Yes.
and I was reading about like Farbis Maruf this afternoon, and then I was wondering like how you define yourself, your presence in the Twitter. Like, is it the statisticians or you are a storyteller? How you like to define yourself if you need to define one?
Uh, it's a kind of tricky question, but if I put it in this way, that what I feel that stats or numbers do have their own stories. You just
Hmm.
need a better storyteller
Yeah.
to define them and put it for the audience. So from day one,
Hmm.
when I joined Twitter actually last year only, so my sole purpose to highlight those performances, those players, those matches, even those teams, if I will talk about later, those teams that usually you don't get much limelight in, especially in current days, where certain, I'm not sure whether you came across on certain fan clubs already developed a cult kind of phenomena
Oh
on
yes,
social,
yes,
yeah, social
yes,
media.
yes.
So every day, every other day, irrespective of whether England versus Sri Lanka matches going on or Pakistan versus Bangladesh match is going on, they only indulge in their own cult fanboyism.
Hmm.
So which I certainly I don't like, because what I feel that cricket is all about to embrace all the players and
Hmm.
all the teams.
Yeah.
So this is my sole purpose, and that's why I keep try to keep posting about players across all the countries and all the teams.
Yeah, yeah, that's something I have noticed recently, especially in past 2 or 3 years, when the cult personality kind of
Yes,
fan club
yes,
grows, and then they just like they bring their own personality to the players one and try to validate their feelings by
right.
fighting with the other people. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and here one thing I would just like to make sure that uh, it has nothing to do with those specific players,
Yeah.
but it's all about those fan clubs. And now, what I could be wrong, but uh, since they are making a living out of it, so they are just keep pushing it. Like how here in India we have developed a different kind of print media or TV media also for the same purpose. They're
Yeah.
not doing their actual work which they're supposed to do. So
Yeah.
same is going here, whether you call it a some calls it a PR or
Yeah. It's a
agenda or whatever.
PR. PR is one, and then another is engagement farming is there,
Yes,
and then yeah, agenda pushing is there. Like all sort of
right,
things comes in there, and the talk is all about those things, but not the actual player or their performances, but it's
correct,
more like fighting with the player, like
right,
about the player.
yes.
So you think like that's something that will harm the sports in general over the period of say like 5 years or 7 years down the line?
I don't think it will harm the sports, but it can create a bad impact on whoever is going to join as a new fan
Hmm.
for cricket in upcoming years, and especially if they're more focused on social media rather than what's actually happening on the ground.
Hmm.
For that, because people definitely tends to make their mindset what they are reading.
Hmm.
So that is one factor, but I don't think it will harm the sports on a larger scale.
That's something reassuring actually, because there's so many like new teams coming up and new players coming up, especially
Mhm.
with the ICC's rules where it granted the T20 status to all the members,
Right.
and then we are seeing so many talents coming up, but then people don't know about them,
Yes.
and then they're just fighting with the limited
And
pool of
even
players.
what is more heartbreaking that if I'll give you an example that just few months back, one guy, Sahil Chauhan, made the record of fastest T20 international century in 27 balls.
Hmm.
So many people actually try to degrade these achievements by saying that basically they are so-called minnows, or they're not playing against quality attack or
Hmm.
whatever, but they don't try to understand their circumstances, that how they are because many teams, even uh, regular teams like Netherlands or Uganda just came in this recent T20 World Cup.
Yeah.
what kind of struggle they are facing in their real life, and to just play. For
Yeah,
them, playing itself is a bigger achievement than winning a trophy.
it
So
is. Yeah.
yeah, so these things many people actually don't understand, and they simply judge by raw numbers. Okay, somebody is playing with, let's, X strike rate or Y average, so he's not a good player. Or I I hope you got my point.
Oh yes. That's something. I think the story is over there. This because I really enjoyed last World Cup, like the T20 one,
Yes.
because we got more teams, more players, and
Yeah.
very good matches in there. Like some of the matches were not like up to the standards, especially the pitches and circumstances that beyond the players or teams' hands.
Right.
But then overall, the matches conditions were good. The uh, playing conditions good. Matches were like very close matches were fought, and very interesting. Like the whole tournament is got very interested because of that one. Do you feel the ICC should increase the number of team in other tournaments as well, or if
Definitely.
they should grant
Definitely.
the test status to every members? Because when we look from outside as a non-test team
Mhm,
playing
mhm.
nations, we
Yeah.
feel like that there are two sorts of structures from the ICC itself.
Yes.
Like one is like proper test structure, and then the rest of the members are barred from playing those games, and some sorts
Mhm,
of ICC creating itself some sort of bubble for a set of team only.
mhm.
And do you think like that's harming what could be a global game,
Uh,
um,
See,
especially the test
when
one?
when it comes to white ball format, whether it is ODIs or T20s, so
Mm-hmm,
definitely there should be inclusion of more teams in all
mm-hmm,
global tournaments. But when it comes to Test cricket,
mm-hmm,
actually, though I count myself as a purist
mm-hmm,
test lover, but reality is that cricket future lies in the shorter format.
mm-hmm. So, say 10 or 20 years down the line,
Mhm.
so are we seeing like tests are only played for the sole purpose of the WTC finals, which was arguably brought to save the test matches, or there will be no test matches at all? Are we going to that direction now? Because there's
No,
too
no,
much
no.
T20 leagues and everything's coming up right now.
No, I might be biased here, but what I feel that if Test cricket can survive for more than almost 150 years,
Mm-hmm.
and in these times, cricket has seen many kind of formats.
Yeah,
Like if you basically there are two formats only: Test cricket and limited overs, right?
yeah,
So limited overs gone through from 60 overs, 55, 50, 40, 20. Now even T10s are happening. But
yeah,
Test cricket is the only format which still remains pure,
yeah.
and you keep seeing the thrill of any test match, like this recent Bangladesh series.
Yeah, that was
The
exciting one.
Yeah, so the amount of thrill or amount of joy a test series win can give, I don't think it can be matched by any limited over tournament, apart from obviously ICC tournaments like World Cup.
Yeah.
So test cricket should survive and will survive. The only
Mm-hmm.
thing I feel the ICC should make a good structure like how they are doing in English county circuit.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Division 1, Division 2.
Mm-hmm.
So because it's not a, if you see like big three teams, India, Australia, and England. So for example, Joe Root has played almost 60 plus tests in last 4 or 5 years only.
Yeah,
And many teams like even South Africa, New Zealand, they are counted as a big teams only, top teams only, but they haven't played even 40 tests.
yeah.
So this is an alarming situation where ICC should work, that every team should get equal opportunity. And
Mm-hmm.
if not with top teams, then they should have two divisions where based on the ranking system, and it could give some kind of incentive also. Like if
Mm-hmm.
one team has, let's if we talk about WTC table only,
Mm-hmm.
so right now 12 teams. So if
Yeah.
any teams fall down below top six, then it should play in the division B for next year, and whoever is the topper of that division, they will come in the division A.
Oh, yes. That makes more
Yes.
context to the
And in
game,
that
actually.
way, down the line, after a few years, they might try to involve some other teams also. For example, like in Nepal, where cricket is very passionate fans, what I have
Hmm.
seen,
Hmm.
it's very popular. So they might try to even play some neutral games in those places also.
Hmm. So much like what we used to see the Sharjah Cup or teams in the Dubai, so
Right,
in the 90s. So that sort of things that would be
correct.
interesting as well. Because from what I was reading yesterday or day before yesterday was so Nepal the cricket
Mhm.
associations organizing the Premier League on their own,
Mhm.
but based on the IPL's model. So hopefully the money flowing from there would go on to give the basic first class infrastructure. Because what I saw in the teams that's coming up, be it the Netherlands or the Uganda or Nepal, it's more like they lack the first class domestic cricket structure, and then that's just harming the development of the
And
cricketers at the
actually,
young
we
age.
we need to be realistic here.
Hmm.
I'm not sure whether you follow movies, especially Bollywood movies, or not.
Hmm.
But there's a actor called Nasruddin Shah.
Hmm.
So once he said this that he's a very top class actor for artistic point of view. He used to do
Hmm.
parallel cinemas, and but he do commercial cinemas as well.
Hmm.
So he said that if I do art movies, it might gives me awards, but award
Hmm.
won't uh, fill my tummy,
Yep.
right? So I need to do commercial cinemas as well. So same goes for first class and T20. So these teams definitely they cannot have first class structure because first class matches won't give them same amount which a T20 game can give,
Hmm.
and
Yep.
they need to survive first. Then only they can flourish.
Yeah, that's something as a fan we're pushing for. Like if we can have a at least even for the ODI or like limited overs structures if it's in place for.
Even if you remember, until few years back, even in
Mhm.
India,
Mhm.
uh, many tournament like Dalip Trophy or tournament, it's happening right now. So they used to invite other countries' teams as well, like England A, Australia A, Sri Lanka A, in those tournaments.
Yeah.
So ICC or even boards can have this kind of things to include associate teams. Like
Hmm.
if 18 teams are playing county, I don't think it will make a much difference to include two more teams in each
Yeah.
division, and it will give them a lot of benefit.
Yeah, the exposure should be there.
Yes,
That's what we were pushing for as well. Like if we can play, say, like, because I think my understanding is Ranji now has two different tiers of
yes, yes,
teams. So if Nepal can play as a in the second tier, that will
yeah.
also give the exposure to the pool of players. So that can benefit as well. Because whatever whoever we are seeing in the Nepalese team performing,
Mhm.
they benefit from their own individual skills that they gain from training in India.
Right.
So if we have that exposure, then probably that would help in the future.
And
But
and
that's
you
something we're
have you
pushing.
have you have the example of Afghanistan.
Yeah,
I mean, they were in Division 5 till 2005-6,
yeah,
and by the 2009-10 they got the international status, and in 7-8 years they got the test status,
yeah,
and they don't even have their own ground in their country.
yeah. That story. I think there is a guy. I forgot the name, but then I think it was his passion that made that team possible. I think it was something related to Rashid Khan's training over there, but I can't
No,
remember right
Rashid
now.
Khan came much later.
Mhm.
Many people involved, like Taj Malik was one
Yeah,
guy who
I,
was
I think
the
it's the Taj Malik, yeah,
yeah
who put the
was the
foundation in the
yeah
Afghanistan cricket.
who was a pioneer. Taj Malik along with Muhammad Nabi Navroz Mangal, these all were involved, but they got their base camp in India in Dehradun.
Yeah.
Even they played a test match against West Indies and many games
Hmm.
against Ireland. So if Afghanistan can do it, and it put nothing kind of burden on BCCI or anyone.
Hmm.
So same can be happen with Nepal or other teams also, right? If
Yep.
all the African countries can put their base camp in South Africa, European countries can get support from England and
Hmm.
so on.
Well, that's good. So I'll come back to your interest as like Is your like because all your tweets that I can get is more about the cricket statistics. So
Mhm.
is it more like you are interested in the cricket particularly, or are you also into the other sports, and then we will be seeing those stats as well in the future?
Uh, no, for Twitter, social media, I kept myself specifically for cricket only, though I watch other sports also, but
Hmm.
not with as much passion as uh, I involved in cricket, because
Hmm.
cricket is one thing which, to be honest, I got my interaction with cricket more before than I got my interaction with my parents.
Hmm.
So even people in family say that before you learn to say "Mummy, Papa," you keep saying "Jaunty, Jaunty."
Ah, yes.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
and
So cricket is will always be priority.
mm,
Other sports, yeah. In my free time, I do watch, but mm, it's not like that. I jump in the bandwagon if Olympic is going on, so I have to watch every single sport for
mm.
that.
Ah, yeah, that's also good because sorting because I jump from cricket to football to F1 whenever I get the chance to see over here.
Then I think it's for every person, maybe, but it more depends on your uh, age and lifestyle also. Like when I was a teenage or in college, then I used to watch football a lot.
Hmm.
And then again, it may be my bias. Then at that time, I found those players of like Ronaldinho was my most favorite.
Hmm.
And then once you started doing job, uh, then obviously you don't have as much time to spend, because you're already giving your time for cricket. Then at late night, you cannot watch English Premier League.
No, no, because I can feel that one because in Australia, like it's in the especially in the Eastern coast, it's such a place where I can't watch the Premier League or the cricket in other parts unless like I wake up until like too late or early.
Mhm.
So there's something played part in me just moving away from the sports at this time. So that's I think it's more like the lifestyle choices as well at times. That's what something.
Yes.
Uh, so coming back to your content creation and things, so how the journey has been so far? Like you told you it's more than like year or two years
Yes.
now. So how is the journey so far?
It's exactly an year actually. In last year, July, August, I've started writing on
Mm-hmm,
regular basis on Twitter.
mm-hmm,
So it's absolutely fantastic.
mm-hmm,
I got tremendous love and support. And what is most overwhelming, that first it came from all the countries, all the people,
mm-hmm,
be it Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, Europe, Australia, everyone, and all the age groups as well. Because if I posted something about some 20th century or 19th century players,
mm-hmm,
people love those posts also, and modern player post also. So this is because what uh, I was my thinking, that we have created a stereotyping that Gen Z or millennials might not interested to know about our history or other things, but
mm-hmm.
I found it very uh, interesting that no, it's not like that. Even new guys, 20 or 18 years old guys, also very interested in to know the history of cricket.
Yeah, because so like I said before, because your writing is something refreshing to me because it comes as like some serious statistics there, but as a form of a storytelling. So that's not
Thanks a
something
lot.
we see every day in like so is it like so the has the statistics becoming more charming these days because of the storyteller, or it's just like the statisticians has become a better storyteller these days? How you see that?
Uh, I'm I'm not sure whether any. First of all, I don't see myself as a statistician,
Mhm,
and it will be a kind of harsh to modern statistician. But what I feel, once internet comes in, so
mhm.
everyone is a statistician. You only
Ah,
need few clicks to go stats guru, and you can simply have access for every other stat. So it's
Mm-hmm.
only about put those numbers with context.
Mm-hmm.
So like many guys are doing very well in this field. They put simply stats only without putting any kind of stories or numbers. So
So do you keep your own database or you
I
rely
u-
on?
I used to keep my own database.
Mm-hmm.
As I told before, doing job, I was very passionate about it. So when none of the social media exist, we used to have Yahoo groups or Google groups with
Mm-hmm.
REC group or something. Even Quick Info was not fully operated for many people here.
Mm-hmm.
It's only newbie baby. So I used to keep data. Now I don't require. Still, though I have uh, in form of Excel or other thing, but everything is available. Many websites are there
Mm-hmm.
which are offering free basis or paid basis, but they're more than enough.
So is it because these days when there is some stats put up on the over the Twitter or other platform, some
Mhm.
of the analysis is not because when we grew growing up at that time the stats were more like run per over or strike rate or things like that. But then
Yes.
when we see now there's like lots of new terminology coming in and then lots of new kind of statistics about the
Yes.
player and the game. So is it like has it evolved a lot today or is it more like we are just using the other parameters as well frequently compared to how it was in the 90s or early 2000s?
No, no, definitely. Like cricket has evolved, or any
Mm-hmm.
profession, as uh, Warren Buffett has said something similar to. I'm not remember that. No matter what happens,
Mm-hmm.
next generation will always going to live a better life than previous generation. So it
They
same
do.
applies. It same applies here also that cricket has evolved, and it largely goes to this phenomena of T20 because then data analysts came in with their entire set of new terminologies like if you see if a website called CrickWiz.
Yeah.
So it now you have the data of the pull shot percentage, cover drive percentage, short pitch ball, good length ball, everything which was though we knew this terminology 20 years back, but we don't have data.
Yeah.
Now we can decide and uh, declare that this player is good enough or not, despite of making runs in certain conditions.
Mm-hmm.
If he's not playing short balls, then even though if he's having 50 plus average in subcontinent, he might struggle on boundary wickets. This is one plain vanilla example. So
Mm-hmm.
obviously, cricket has been evolved with a lot of terminologies, and the good thing that fans embraced these terminologies. I don't think anybody is having any problem with new terminology keeps coming in until it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So also like I was interested on how you select the player or what you want to put in as a post. So is there any like particular process that you
Uh,
follow
see,
or
uh,
there's some things you just
I'm
occasionally
yeah,
you
I'm
choose the players and things. How
I'm
you do
not
that?
I'm not sure you are following me from how much time, but I used to post in two three ways. The first
Mm-hmm.
is random post, like every day. If I
Mm-hmm.
remember that somebody has uh, his birthday, like Parvez
Mm-hmm.
Maroof or George Belly has their birthday today, yesterday, Saeed Anwar's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to put in 4 5 lines what I feel for them, and
Mm-hmm.
if I found some interesting stat, then I try to incorporate in that. That is one thing. Another
Mm-hmm.
thing, if current match is going on, like if
Mm-hmm.
England Sri Lanka match is going on, and by watching, I just got like yesterday I was watching when Ben Duckett was batting and he completed his 50.
Mm-hmm.
So I just observed that even though he's batting with almost 90 strike rate in tests from last
Mm-hmm.
2 years,
Mm-hmm.
he has hit only six sixes
Mm-hmm.
at that time. So I found it very peculiar that with 90 plus strike rate, he has hit only six sixes, but he has hit most number of boundaries, fourth
Mm-hmm.
in this period. So similarly, I noticed something. I used to post for current matches, and I used to post threads once in 2 weeks or once in a month, depend on my availability. So
Hmm.
for those, I not select players. How I would explain it's on impromptu basis actually. Initially, I started with that putting on those players. Actually, I started a series uh, when last World Cup was happening, 2023 World Cup. So I started a series called Unsung Heroes of World Cup.
Oh yes, I have seen that one as well. That was the nice one.
Yeah.
I think my
So
first interaction with you was during the that accidentally came in my Twitter feed,
yeah,
and
so
then
I
I
started
followed
with
it on.
Neil Johnson.
Yes.
Neil Johnson, Roger Shoes, Asif Karim. Then I went to around 18, 19 players I have written. And
Hmm.
in between, I used to post uh, full-fledged thread on those players who I found very uh, good or very close to my heart, but still somehow they don't get as much credit as they deserve.
Mm.
Like for example, Michael Bevan, Lance Klusener,
Yeah.
so these kind of players. Now since I mm, somehow somewhat I got kind of following, so people used to send their request also that please write on this, but I politely uh, ignored those thought because writing is what I feel that it should be pure. If
Hmm.
I'm writing on your recommendation or request, then I don't think I can put same effort which I'm putting
Mm.
for. You got my point, right?
Yeah, that's more like not something organic that you want to do, but
Yes,
it's more it becomes more like a job for you,
correct,
and
correct.
that's not
So
coming up something.
I came to social media to just to divert my mind from my ongoing job, right? If
Hmm.
here also I'm doing the same which I'm doing in office, making
No,
PPTs and mail, then it won't make any sense.
no, because that just beats the purpose. Because for me, I am in the social media. I'm in the Twitter just
Hmm.
to see the random things. Because there's lots of nonsense going on in the Twitter,
Yes.
and I just see those random nonsense over there and see like, oh wow, people can do these ones. Okay, let it be. So I don't want to get into those conversations and then like fight over the Twitter. I'm not here to do that one. I'm there to entertain myself.
Right.
Either with a good thing in the Twitter that's coming up, like your threads or something, or say Joy Bhattacharya, like Joy Das tweets,
Yes,
they
yes,
come in,
yes.
or Karthike's like cricketing views,
Cricketing views.
his stats or things like that. Or I'm just there looking at the random stats, people just saying over there, fighting over nonsense, and just like that's the world. But I'm not there to live my life in Twitter, So I don't want to make the like the same, like you said, I don't want to do the job
Yeah.
in my free time as well.
And this is the my thinking also that if I'm writing something, even though it is a free platform
Hmm.
and people are not paying to read it, but still they are giving their time.
Yes.
Right. So whatever I'm putting as a post, it should add some value. They should
Yes.
feel that, okay, I have read this post. So somehow they should remember that, okay, it's worth spending time.
Hmm.
And fortunately, I got very good kind of mutuals, or I would say, if you go through any, most of my posts, no. So even
Hmm.
in comment section, you won't find any toxicity.
No.
So people will, and the good thing that I have mutuals with all rival fan clubs. I
Yes.
won't I won't make names,
No.
but
No.
you can understand that all those mutuals of rival fan clubs, and they will interact under my post with very gracefully. Even though if they will fight with each other on their own post, but if I put something about, let's say, George Bailey, so they will put only uh, logical or good things, not any toxic comments or anything which what you were referring, that nonsense which keeps happening on daily basis.
Yeah, that's something Twitter that's just keep us sane in the insane world. Um, so yeah, going back like recently, like there is an increase. Like you have written as well in the past week or so, like how your whole content is plagiarized and then put in the other media, social media platform.
Yeah.
How you see that one? Because content plagiarism has some things going on, but then the intensity has increased. So how you
Uh,
see that one?
I feel that like in real world, in social media also, all kind of people exist.
Hmm.
As I mentioned that I was very fortunate to have very good mutuals. So there will be some people who, and unfortunately, many people, if they're using it, let's say Facebook or other platform, they might don't even know the consequences
Mm-hmm.
that copying something is a good thing or bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I won't blame them. And till date, I haven't accused anyone. I
Mm-hmm.
just found it a kind of my source of entertainment because apart from Twitter, I don't use any other social media.
Mm-hmm.
So my one of my mutuals only every other day they will keep sending me the screenshot. Okay, some this guy has copied, and if some individual is copying, still it's okay. But very big handles, I won't name them,
Yeah.
who are running professionally. So they also used to do these kind of things. So for them, I think it's unethical
Mm-hmm.
because if you are doing it, it's on professional level,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm assuming that somebody definitely is paying you to
Mm-hmm.
running the page.
Mm-hmm.
So you are simply doing injustice with your employer as well. Because if you are copying my post, you are definitely copying some other guy's post as well to run
Mm-hmm.
your page.
Yeah.
So
Do you take the action against them, like
no, no,
report
no,
them
no,
or?
no, 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 no. First of all, in uh, most of these things happened on other platforms like Instagram or Facebook, where
Mm-hmm.
where I'm not active,
Mm-hmm.
so I cannot take actions because for
Mm-hmm.
taking action, I have to create an account first.
Mm-hmm.
And in
Yeah.
Twitter, I just found a few guys here and there copying a post. So if they are happy with copying my post and it's they're getting some kind of likes or views and it's making me happy, then indirectly I'm helping them. So
Yeah, because something that I can't take lightly is people telling copying is the best form of flattery or something, like you're just
yes, yes,
copying somebody
yeah.
else's like big task and then presenting it as yours. That's like just plain
and
cheating and just
and what
sugarcoating
I
it.
what I came to know from other creators that in India actually this uh, I mean law is also not very strong for
Mm-hmm.
these things. Even you report or do because many aggregators,
Mm-hmm.
I call them aggregators in India. I won't name them, but you can understand. Especially there are two three guys famous
Mm-hmm.
keep posting 100 posts in a day,
Mm-hmm.
and they will copy from let's say Times of India or India Today and post three four lines as their post, and they will get heaps of likes and views.
Mm-hmm.
So they have popularized this trend actually.
Mm-hmm.
That 3 4 5 years back, I haven't heard this word aggregator.
Mm-hmm.
And now this is a profession on Twitter that you are a news aggregator. You are copying from other sources and publishing as your own.
Yeah, that's something that I don't like. Something I believe should be shut down. Um, So do you believe, like, if you think yourself as a brand, because you have a good reputation of the contents that you put in the Twitter, do you think like those plagiarisms are hurting your brand value as well? Like if you see it as a hypothetical brand or having a hypothetical brand value, say XYZ, and do you feel like your brand or brand value has been hurting because somebody is copying your content?
As of now, I don't think so. But as you mentioned, though, what I feel that uh, I have my niche kind of writing. So even
Mm-hmm.
if somebody is copying it
Mm-hmm.
and somebody is reading it from let's say XYZ post has copied. So by reading it, they will come to know that it is written by AB only.
Mm-hmm.
So for at present, I don't think it is hurting me in any sense. Not sure about after some time, a
Mm-hmm.
couple of years, but now, no, I don't think so. It's hurting.
So again, I want to bring back to the statistics and studies. So
Yeah.
if I see now, like say your post or say Jared or Joy or Karthikesh or Ayaz. I haven't seen Ayaz posting recently though, or Amit the
Ayaz
random.
Memon.
Yes. Um, I haven't seen him posting recently though, or say the random cricket guy. I think I believe he's Amit. Um, do you feel like we are focusing more on the male genre of cricket only? Because there's like very few posts about the female players. Is this because of that there is less information or less cricket going on, or that's something like is missing from the writers fraternity in general somehow? How you
Uh,
see that one?
Both actually. That less matches going on, that's the one thing. But even
Mm-hmm,
though in recent years, still they are playing a lot of matches, but there is still a kind of mindset
mm-hmm,
among us that if, let's say, I will uh, ask you that who was the first Indian to score a century in his debut ODI.
mm-hmm,
So nobody will goes back to remember that it was Mithali Raj,
mm-hmm,
right? So first, or let's say if you ask that who was the first player to score a double century in ODIs, so
mm-hmm,
99% people will say Sachin Tendulkar.
mm-hmm,
Nobody will remember Belinda Clark did it in 1997 itself.
mm-hmm,
So it's our natural instinct that I might be wrong to use that word, but we used to think about men's cricket at first,
mm-hmm,
and then, but still, I know I can name about 4 or 5 pages or handles who specifically focused on women's cricket. I won't lie that I try to post some posts about them, but not as frequently as on men's cricket. And
mm-hmm.
same, I think, same goes to all other names which you have mentioned, Gerard and others. With Gerard, I think now even one very good from Sri Lanka is also working in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
She's female only, and hopefully they will create some content especially focus on women's cricket. But as it goes to know, if I'll put it in this way, like if we see in Olympics happening, then we focused on other sports. Same goes to if any mega event happening for women's cricket, then only normal or casual people will focus on those events. Usually they, unfortunately, it's a very sad thing that they don't put as focus as they put on men's cricket. And the unfortunate thing that I have noticed, I'm not sure whether you have gone through this or not, but that recently BCCI has uh, made a rule that females cricket also will get the same paycheck as men's cricket. So
Yes.
many guys not digesting it well. So
Mm-hmm.
this is the you can see where the society is going on
Yeah,
heading.
because there is a talk like you you might have heard as well. Like if
That
they
they are
they need
not.
to they need to generate the revenue to
Yes,
get that
yes.
payment.
So,
That's something's going on with other sports as well, like in
but
the
this is
tennis
not
as well.
this is not how
Mm,
an employer or employee relation works, right? If you
yeah,
join a company, I don't think HR will ask you that you have to generate similar revenue as what other employees are generating.
yeah. That
And if you
that
go to
relations, I
the
think the same.
if you go to the history, I have
Mhm.
written about Shanta Rangoswamy. I'm not sure whether you have
I
read.
might have seen it. I think so.
Yeah. So when Shanta Rangoswamy started playing cricket, and till 90s or even early 2000, that women's cricket were not getting a single penny.
Hmm.
So they used to go to in unreserved uh, trains to fight with hooligans and carry their kit bags and go to the grounds and play with all their own expenses.
Hmm.
And from there, if they come to this stage that they have played the 2005 World Cup final, 2017 World Cup final, though they haven't won any trophy till now. But even if you go from Indian men's uh, history, given the resources they have and the team strength they have, they you will expect at least more trophies what they have won, right?
Yes.
So it's very foolish to say these kind of statement that they should bring same revenue as if they're not bringing revenue, then it's whose fault? Our fault, no? Because we are not going to watch their games.
Yeah, I think it's like public is not interested in generating that revenue on their part, or there isn't enough say resources deployed by the BCCI or the production companies to get them going to the game. You know, like what I mean. And then they are just blaming the players, like they're not bringing the revenues. Like, where does the revenue come from? If people are not going to see the match, then that's just like we're going in the circle with nothing to accomplish.
Right. And people not understanding the simple thing that just giving a equal paycheck doesn't mean that Virat Kohli and Smriti Mandhana are earning same amount of money
Hmm.
in an year, right? If you
Yeah.
go through, let's say, WPL is happening, and
Hmm.
WPL matches, if I'm not wrong, only 2 3 rounds they were played last to last season,
Yeah.
and still almost all the matches were crowds were going fully.
Yeah.
So they were generating interest, and if you go through the this IPL base price, which player put for auction, and WPL price. So I might be wrong, but what I've read is that the player like Shikhar Bharat put their base amount as 50 lakhs, and
Hmm.
same is for Smriti Mandhana. Now you tell me who has the more popularity?
I would definitely go with Smriti Mandana on any day compared
Yeah,
to Shikhar
yeah.
Bharat.
So, so these things is not people notice that they only think about, if you talk about men's cricket and women's cricket, they only think about, okay, men's cricket is all about Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma only. But no, other all men's cricket, even those guys are playing Ranji, they are also securing the fixed amount of money every month.
Hmm.
So this is how you survive. Nobody is focusing on the dark side. Why? Okay, I'm not sure whether it would be good for this section or not, or you can cut it out. That have you noticed why no Indian female cricketers are getting married?
Mm. Yeah, that I haven't seen it. Or
Shantanu Goswami or many cricketers from, they are now 60, 70 years old.
mm,
Let's say now Jhulan Goswami or the Harmanpreet Kaur, they are now 30s or 40s.
mm,
But why they're not getting married? And it's same on every other countries also. Apart from New Zealand, I think no countries are giving them assurance of money that once post marriage. Now imagine if you can tell Virat Kohli that you won't get any money if you are going to be a parent.
mm,
Obviously, uh, that if once a woman's cricketer is going to be a parent, she won't play for 1 year, 1.5 year. That is
mhm,
for sure. Can
mhm.
you expect the same thing from a men's cricketer?
No. No, I don't think the men can go through that like whole process. I think they are not understanding what goes into be a female player. And I
And
think it's
here we are not even discussing all those other physical challenges
mhm,
uh, and struggles which a female cricketer is facing day to day to just become a cricketer.
mhm,
If you go to a Jhulan Goswami struggle, Jhulan Goswami used to go from early morning to local train, then practice day, and again came back
mhm.
tonight. So it's, I mean, that's phenomenal from the struggle which they have put to just represent India. And for in every other country, not only India, but every other country.
Yeah, I think so basically we're what's saying is like we're just projecting like the whole society is projected into like the female cricketers, like how the society especially in the corporate world, from what I have read and seen, like females' career growth stagnates after they married or
Yes.
have a child. Or there are reports as well, like corporates not preferring the female employee if they are planning for the marriage, and they ask all sorts of personal questions like, "Are you planning to marry or having a child?" and like that, and that's hampering their career growth in the corporate section. And we're seeing same in the cricket as well.
There are other dark side of it also, that I won't mention that it is applicable in other European
Hmm.
countries, but in subcontinent, if uh, female is already popular, let's say kind of Harmanpreet Kaur or Sachin Mandhana, then you will find very few people who will, because male ego comes there, that they
Mm.
won't ready to marry who's already more popular than him.
Yes, because male ego is like
Yes. So this is the
somebody has written it somewhere in my timeline before. Like one of my mutuals says, male ego is more like compared to the brain of a fly. It's like that fragile. So
Right.
I think that comes in there, applied in here as well. Because when I say about, because I didn't know about much about the female cricketers before, but then I had to dig into that, who they are, what they did, and things like that. Because Diana Edulji, for example, she's a big
Yes.
name in the Indian
Yeah.
female cricket, but then we
Yeah.
didn't know about her until we personally dig into like the history of the female cricket in India and things like that. And then we got to know like, oh, she is there. She's one of the legend in the Indian female cricket, but then we don't know because it's not covered by the media. It's not known to the masses.
Yes.
So you think like
Same.
media has a role in play, like how to popularize the female cricket or
Definitely.
female sport?
Definitely. Definitely. And again, what I have mentioned about your questions, no, that why on social media we are not putting as much post about women's cricket as we are doing for men's cricket. Same goes here also.
Mm-hmm,
Media is also run on viewership and TRP.
mm-hmm,
So they will post only when something out of the blue happened, like Harmanpreet Kaur did in 2017 semi-final against Australia.
mm-hmm.
So if some kind of heroic or achievement happened, then only they will focus. Otherwise, it will come only in one liner that uh, Indian women's team either won or lost against XYZ team in bottom of the TV screen. They are not going to cover it.
So in this context, do you see like how, like based on how things are going, improving, let's
Yeah,
say in
now
the Indian cricket, you see the future is much brighter to the Indian, not only the Indian but overall female sports
sure,
in the
sure.
future.
I think for every country, at least for women's cricket, it's much, much better than what it used to have 10, 20 years back.
Mm-hmm,
Like even if you take a case of Sri Lanka, they have recently won the Asia Cup.
mm-hmm,
And until few months back, if you check the Sri Lanka uh, stats, no, so
mm-hmm.
you will see only one name, Chamari Atapattu, for every single record.
Yeah.
Every single record, most runs, if you check top 10 highest scores, 9 out of 10 belongs to her only.
Mm-hmm.
So, but now they have got a few other youngsters also who are contributing. So, and it's happening for every country. So, yeah, in women's cricket, especially in the subcontinent, uh, is in much better shape than it was earlier.
So hopefully things brightens up for the female
Yeah,
sports
and
player
and
as well.
and here I would like to mention this in that we have started this point, no, from
Mm-hmm,
T20 and all.
mm-hmm,
So here, this globalization of like BBL, WPL 100, where fortunately BCCI and other boards have allowed female players to participate. This
mm-hmm.
played a very big role.
That's that's something that should have happened long time ago,
Yes.
but hopefully it will continue in the future as well. While finishing off this interview, just
Yeah.
wanted to know, like, if do you have any plan to come up with your own book with the statistics and the stories blended together in the future? Is there something you plan to bring it?
Many people actually asked me about it, and to be honest, I don't think if I publish a book, the same people who are appreciating me on social media are going to read that book.
Mm-hmm,
Because what I observed that now attention span is very less,
mm-hmm,
especially for modern Gen Z people.
mm-hmm,
So this platform, I found that it's a much better than writing in a book to highlight these unsung players.
mm-hmm.
After a couple of years, I might try to compile or write on something different topic altogether, depend on my timeline. But for now, I think social media is the best platform other than any book to, because if let's say if any video reel is getting viral
Mm-hmm.
about any player,
Mm-hmm.
so there's much higher chances to get noticed by. You might have come across many examples that many players are getting chances in a national team by just their reels getting viral, by their
Mm-hmm.
net playing session or anything. So it's not possible to expect same thing from a book.
Okay.
Though books have their own for hardcore lovers, they have their respect. But practically, if I see to, because my purpose is to just uh, not giving a tribute to like सुनील गावस्कर, विराट कोहली, सचिन तेंदुलकर और MS धोनी, but
Mm.
to give more tribute to other guys like Eknath Solkar or Vinu Mankar.
Yeah,
Okay.
because if you because I was exposed to Binu Mankad because of I think it's running out the non-strikers one. I think it's
Yeah,
because yeah,
the unfortunate people remember him for this incident only, but he was a damn good player.
he was a good player because I
Yeah,
follow him after that incident because it was so much a buzzword at that time, and then
yeah,
it was going on. But Eknath Solka is somebody I have heard after a really, really long time, to be honest. I haven't heard him and anyone talking about him in like really a decade or so. Like in
yeah.
the past decade, I haven't heard it. Like I used to heard a lot about him when I follow uh like Indian cricket at that time, especially in
Mhm.
the commentary ones, because the only thing we exposed to the quality cricket or the techniques is more from the commentary. Like when Wasim Akram tells how to do the swing, that's the only time we know how to do the swing bowling. We don't have the exposure. Or if
Yeah.
somebody says in the like innings break, say now Ricky Ponting does or somebody does like how to do a proper defense or proper
Yes.
cricketing shots to put in. That's our only chance to learn about those techniques because there is no proper coaching establishment. So we learn our cricket from those. And then at that time, I think I have heard about him um, during the commentary time. There's a lot, whenever the Indian commentators were there, there was lots of buzzwords with Eknath Solkar, Lala Amarnath, and things like that.
Yeah.
But but that's more like my learning of cricket and cricketing techniques. And if I see cricket now and I see somebody doing the technique, the fault, if there any, or the praise I give for the technique is based on those commentary only because that's where we were exposed to the quality content more than
Correct.
the coaching itself. So I think that's the good name to remember now. Um, I think I will end it here with that good note. And
Yeah.
thank you for your time, Abhishek. And we'll catch up sometime later in the future. And good
Sure.
luck with your great your things you're writing over there. Keep following that
Sure.
one as well.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thanks a
so much
lot
for
for
time.
inviting.